What's going on, guys? I'm the Fallen Sanctum, and today I'm joined by three Vanguard players. We got the King of the Circus, Abdallah.
What's good?
Alright, we got Scardize, the Genesis player.
What up?
And we got our Angel Feather brother, Tiel.
Yup.
Sounds good. So, in today's podcast, we're going to be covering two things. First, we're going to cover their three favorite cards from each Angel, Genesis, and Gear Chronicle. And then we're going to look at the Vision Spring Cup qualifier results. The first one, at least. The one for Standard and one for Premium. We couldn't find the links for the other tournaments. We'll be covering those the following week. We'll be doing this podcast once a week. It's going to be about between 45 minutes to 75 minutes long, depending on how long we have things to talk about. If we get to the end of the chain of things to talk about, we'll just talk about the current meta. We're not going to be mentioning Premium Collection until next episode. I don't think so. And I think you guys are ready to get in, right?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Awkward cue is awkward. So sounds good. We're gonna start with the origin deity of heavenly light, Uranus. I'm gonna let my boy Scardize take the stand.
Alright, so my opinion on origin deity of heavenly light is it's what's missing from the Valkyrion Turbo deck. In my opinion, it brings the deck faster by lowering the amount of force markers needed. And it also gives a more finishing move by allowing your Valkyrion to restand. So this makes the deck much more threatening and much more consistent.
All right. So in this new Anus Turbo deck, what's your trigger lineup?
My trigger lineup currently is I'm going for 7 crits and 5 draws.
All right. And
the draws are needed because generally after a Valkyrion turn, you're left with little cards in hand due to the fact that all of the draft checks that Valkyrion does go into soul. So by adding more draws, you're allowing yourself to survive another turn from your opponent's attack and therefore going for another Valkyrion turn.
Sounds good. Sounds good. But what do you think about the old VR Astrals? Is that still gonna be in the deck?
Well, it's very much needed in the deck. As I'm going to talk about later on, DK requires having multiple Astral poets into the deck, so therefore making it more consistent. Also, if you're not able to say the full path for Urgent Deity of Heaven's Light, which is cards equal to Grade 5, Astral Dragon gives you a good substitute as to build more force markers, therefore having a higher Vanguard attack power.
All right. Awesome. That's it's good to hear the opinion on that card. Now let's go with Phenomenus of the Constellations. That's the grade 2 in the set. Take it away, Scardize.
Okay, in my opinion, this card is a very good support to a Valkyrion turn, but in my opinion, the card is better if it's shown in Premium. He also acts as another Astral Dragon S4 by giving you more draw power during your game phase. With his counterpart when draw one card, you can have 3 or 4 more force markers. This card shines in Premium due to the fact that his effect is not once per turn and it's on attack, and the power increase lasts until the end of the turn. Therefore, after he restands due to either power effect or drive checking a stand trigger, his power will increase by another time for each force marker you gain.
All right, that's cool. I kind of like that it does have the until end of turn effect. So indeed it does stack. So if you stand it multiple times, it could be like a mini Valkyrion attacking. But what are your with the new cards so far revealed? What do you what's your opinion on the Gizeh Valkyrion Stand Turbo deck?
The Gizeh Valkyrion Stand Turbo deck, in my opinion, it's a bit bricky in my opinion because you're not, unlike with the Kimiko Gizeh, this one is a bit too late game because you're taking away your hand power, which is the only thing that you need the most in a Gizeh deck is the fact that you're losing your trigger power. So this deck is extra
It's actually good to hear the reasoning on that. Now let's talk about DK of the Just Path.
I love DK in my opinion because he makes the deck 10 times more consistent with his effect. Due to the fact that he both gets you 2 Astral Poets in your hand, thereby getting your main grade 3 and a substitute grade 3, as well as a force marker if you get 2 grade 3. He's amazing for getting you Origin to Heavenly Light in your hand, and he's amazing for also giving you Gleaming Lord, which in my case, in my build, is perfect. Because Gleaming Lord gives you another force marker. Therefore, you already have 2 force markers back to back.
Huh?
Also, his cost sets you up for Origin Easy of Heavenly Light. By allowing you to choose a card from your hand to put into your soul, you're able to choose a card with the grade that you're missing for the cost of Origin Easy of Heavenly Light.
Nice. So it's really consistent. I see it's on Van and rear, and it still has the effect that you get the force marker on the Vanguard. I'm a little sad that all the force markers have to be on the Vanguard, but it's understandable for the bigger skills to have an effect. But yeah. All right.
So if
Awesome.
they made it that you can generally put the force markers anywhere late game after you're done getting the Astral Plane, people would just stack all their markers on the rear guard. This way it makes it back a bit more fair.
Yeah, fair enough, indeed. All right, so now we've covered Genesis in the Astral Force trilogy, and we're gonna head over to my Angel Feather brother PL. He's gonna talk to us about the legendary guy who I can't pronounce his name. I think I'm gonna say Archader Malakuf Malakif. I'll take it away, PL.
I'll agree on that. Yeah. So for Malkut Malek, I think it's an awesome card. Complete what started with our rodeo and build a more aggressive angel playstyle. You just don't care to play your cards and be aggressive from grade 2. Even if they're killed, you just revive them and you can be aggressive and you don't worry about playing the aggressive game with this card. And that's what also makes the deck work. If you don't see it in your game, you'll usually lose. That's what's sad about this. And right now, this is the card that says if you win or lose, usually.
Don't you have a searcher for Malakuf?
Yeah, we've got one. It's a top 7, and it's specifically for Malkuth. It's still good we got one because other clans didn't get any kind of searcher at all right now in this set. So well, good we got something for Malkuth because he's just that essential for the game. And the old 1 damage effect is nothing to scoff at. I've won multiple games in on grade 2 when the opponent is still on grade 2 because it just happens. So yeah, the effect to be able to revive, abuse your things from grade 2 without worrying at all because then if they die and just attack on sides, okay, I'll be able to have the field still. And the other cards I'm going to talk about, which are Lamedo and Zane, are a big part of why right now we're able to do big attacks from grade 2 onwards.
All right, awesome. So now for our resident Grand Blue expert, Ricky Bad, we have to answer the question: is Malakuf Malek a Grand Blue VR in disguise?
Still, it was 1, so I wouldn't say.
No, even though reviving, it's not as good as Kikaitis. Doesn't require grade 3s and soul, you know.
Yeah, I mean, from turn 1, can do as good as a Kikaitis does, but you will have less options. You just have to pray you've got good cards at hand. Sure, you've got some kind of filters you can play. We've got in this set and the last one. We got like Ultimate Call Angel that can draw 2 discard 1, so we've got some kind of filtering that helps to have a better Malek turn, better than just buying card and having them being retired on the field or attacked on. So we've got some options, but comparing this to Kaitis is hard.
All right.
In the long game, Kaitis would be better, but from the get-go.
Okay, but this card is better than Baskirk, right?
Oh, of course, of course.
All right. So
Even if this card can be denied, even if this card can be damage denied, there comes Blast 2 effect. Better effect, if the opponent didn't rush you in the beginning, you'll just abuse it.
sounds good.
And
All right.
And in premium, it's perfect for opponents who want to damage deny.
Awesome. Sounds good. So while normally VRs aren't the only things that make a deck good. Normally the triple Rs are normally what support the VR the best. So we're gonna go off with Aidroid Lamito, and I'm gonna let PL take it away again.
Yeah, so Lamito is what makes the deck. What makes decks close games. With things like the Yishianis Angel we got in the last set, we can make aggressive and big column that cannot be Sentinel Guard. So you will push the game to be able to go to second great return, where you will just close games with Lamedo and able to do columns of things like 60, 70, or maximum 80k. If you get like triple trigger of a Malkuth. So it's pretty. It is the way you will usually close game. It's with Lamedo, and the fact is also getting the 5k power like we got with Astral Intendant in the last set. It's just another layer of power that is really useful in the beginning of the game.
All right, awesome. So with this new aggressive angels that you're talking about, what would be your trigger lineup?
And my trigger lineup currently is 4 draws, PG, and a crit, 4 heals.
Okay, so standard 8 crit for draw PGs. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I still need the draw power of the draw PGs. I don't know if I would go to 12 crit when we get the Sentinels one, the Sentinel crits one, but right now I really need draw power still of the PGs. So, yeah.
All right, awesome. And so last but not least, we'll go with the more like lesser known card in this set for Angels. Turns out it's not the best card ever, but we had to pick a third card. So we're gonna talk about Aidroid Zayin.
Yeah. I chose to talk about Zane because in the way I want to play the deck right now, I think playing Zane is the optimal way. Sure, it still has Angels right now to abuse the power you get from putting cards in opponent damage zone. You still have to give counterblast to counter charge to your enemy. So Zane still has this problem, but he's compensating by gaining huge power, or almost free.
Oh.
So it's like a 19k that a normal booster like Lamedo or Alpha Intended will make a 32 column from the get-go for no cost. So he's just really good for that, and he's one of the two main units you want to have to attack with and revive with your Malkuth.
Awesome.
So,
and I have to ask, protect 1 or protect 2?
I want to live, so I usually go protect 1 because this deck you'll usually aggressive, so you want and need to protect 2. To protect 1, I mean to survive or
right. Awesome.
Survive in general. I don't think the protect 2 is really that worth, especially with all the retire matchup we got right now. I don't, and that's also why I don't play the Take 2 engine we got in this set. I love the Great One. I'm not so sure about the Great 2. So
Secchio Angel?
I love Sexio Angel, yeah. The Great One I can intercept as long as you have a Tech 2 in the same column. I love this one, but the invitation, as much as I love the fact she's a 24k, I just adding a protect marker. It's just a 24k and won't do much more and will be retired or whatever. Instead, Zane will control the board a little bit, will be close to the same power, and will be retired. So you you don't lose anything by reviving him. You make something, the opponent lose something, he retires itself. Yeah, I prefer this engine with Zane and the other things.
All right, awesome. So now we've covered both Genesis and we've covered Angel Feather. Let's go to our man of the hour, our entertainer, the king of the circus, Abdallah. Now, why don't you go ahead and lead us off on the big boy Chrono Tiger Rebellion, who's got like 2 books worth of effects.
Okay, so first thing I'm gonna talk about is obviously Chrono, the Grid 4. Because I mean, it's basically really interesting the fact that you basically have to play the deck now with almost no hand. But I mean, sure, you're dumping hand every turn, but I mean, you're eventually going to gain it back because the deck finally recycles itself, which I find kind of weird compared to what Gears used to be before.
All right, let's talk about the 5 or less. How do you like the retire in Gear Chronicle?
Sorry, wait, what? My brain just broke.
So Chrono Tiger Rebellion has 3 skills. He's got 5 or less, 3 or less, 1 or less. We'll talk about them in descending order. So we'll talk about the 5 or less skill. How much do you like? How helpful is the retire in Gear Chronicle?
I mean, okay, it's good. Like, I mean, retiring your opponent's stuff is always good, especially against force, because I mean, you don't have extra circles. I mean, against Excel decks, unless you're playing, like, if you're not playing against someone who's gonna like Ezel Turbo and then dump so much stuff that the retire becomes irrelevant because you're probably not gonna survive by that long. Or against like against things like Tails, Great Nature, maybe if Great Nature slowed down a bit. I mean, sure. I mean, I see it kind of working on Naru, and then maybe Tachi if Tachi isn't set up. But I mean, when is Tachi never not set up? So
Yeah.
like,
Definitely. Well, Tachi did receive quite a big hit with the ban list in Standard, but I do understand that point in Premium, as the deck is literally the Standard deck with Neveris and Gigates, and that is quite more devastating than it was in Standard. So now, I see that also 3 of your front row units you get 10k power. I don't know why it says 3 of your front row units, since, you know, it's a Force clan and there's no extra circles that we need to talk about, but I guess if you're getting the 10k power, I'm assuming this is a Force 2 deck.
I mean, originally that's what I thought too, because I mean, when your Vanguard or any of your raiders basically just give you the extra power you would have got from Force 1s anyway, you generally would tend to play Force 2, but I mean, looking at some of the other stuff, I don't really think playing Force 2 is actually all that necessary, because I mean, you can to a degree multi-attack now, so I mean, you have more chances of actually hitting for magic numbers than needing to rely on just forcing people's hand anyway.
How often, realistically, would you say we get to the 1 or less cards in hand effect for Rebellion?
Actually, pretty consistently if you play your deck properly. I mean, like, looking at everything else that came out for new gears, I mean, it's really not that hard to get to the 1 or less condition.
Alright. So, seeing as this is Gear's 2nd set of support in a long ass fucking time, what would you keep any of the old cards in this new Chrono Tiger Turbo build? Like Lost Age Dragon or Naboo or the other chick, or, you know, like Wedge Move Draco Kid. Any of those favorites from the Answer of Truth, would any of them still be in the deck?
Okay. I wouldn't really keep are grade 1 stride fodder just because, I mean, there's way too much stride fodder now, and I mean, we can literally go grade 4 on a grade 2 turn, then go back to it. So, I mean, he's kind of useless. I mean, we don't particularly play too much with binding anymore, so I mean, that kind of takes a lot of really good things off the table.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad indeed. Alrighty, now that we've covered Rebellion, let's go ahead and go to what I believe is the most nutty card in this set. By far the tier -0 card in this set. Steam Scar Urcal. Go ahead, buddy, take it away.
Alright, so I mean, at first glance, right, you know, you're regular 10k grade 2, and then you read its skills. What does it do? Once per turn, counterblast 1, pitch 1. Your Vanguard gets +1 drive. Oh, what other Force deck do we know that has similar shenanigans to give your Vanguard multiple drives?
I'm not actually sure.
DP.
Oh yeah, DP. Okay. The Super Dieliner Turbo with Dizoris.
I mean, Urcab literally just makes. Well, first of all, before anything, it's also a strike fodder. So remember that. It's grade 2 strike fodder. For memes, just put 4 of them on the board, counterblast 4 because why not? And then just, okay, now your chrono has 7. No. Yeah, your chrono will have like 7 drives. Okay. Play the grade 1 and then recycle them back into the deck and then just get them again.
Alright, yeah, I can see drive checking 6 or 7 times while my opponents have -5k on their Guardians. Can be pretty disgusting. I get like 6 crits, I just auto win the game. Talking about triggers, what would be your trigger lineup in this deck, Abdallah?
Honestly, I'm kind of torn because I would like to play 12 crit just because. I mean, we don't really need anything other than 12 crit. Like, this is the new Unga Bunga 12 crit turbo chow guy. But then you could legit actually play, I mean, 6 draw, 6 crit, and then 4 heal. Because,
Alright.
I mean, you are going to want to, like, draw into your pieces as fast as you can. And you want to fill up your hand so you can discard as much as you can to proc as many skills as you can to basically insta-win the game.
That's good. And what's your opinion on Urcab in Premium? Because we talked about Standard, but like riding a regular grade 4 in Premium, you know, kind of feels too slow. What's our opinion on Badass Boy over here in ye old advanced format?
I mean, like, I've never really played Premium Gears all too much, but I mean, I can say that he would work in the older Gears deck with Mystery Flare.
Alright.
And, I mean, like, okay, if you get stuck and then you hard ride Mystery Flare, sure, hopefully if you have enough bind, right, you get the extra turn. Urcab is nice because then he's still going to get triple drive regardless. But then, does he serve any other purpose beyond that? Honestly, after you hard ride like 1 Mystery Flare, not really. It just becomes a 5k interceptor.
Sounds good. And last but not least, you chose to talk about the Singing Dance Grace Colossus, the legendary Big Piano Boy. I'll let you tell us why you chose the Piano Man.
Right, so, I mean, originally I was going to talk about the Steam links, but then I was like, no, wait, this guy's actually a bit more funny because he's a grade 3 that basically does what most of the old grade 2s for years used to do. So on place he binds 1, but then he has like baby guard restrict because you have to drop 2 a guard. But then, I mean, like, that's kind of good though, because 1, if you play old Gears or premium gears and you actually rely on your bind zone. First of all, he binds. Second of all, he makes you have to guard with 2 or more. And if you're playing the Force 1 game, then you're basically forcing hand size. He's a common. So he basically just benefits the deck. Like, what do you want me to say?
All right. Well, that's good enough. Alrighty. So now that we finished talking about the Astral Force, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the tabs. We'll be talking about I believe it's the Cross Circuit Spring Cup qualifier. There was one standard tourney that we have the results for, and a premium tourney. So first and foremost, let's focus. Can I click on the image? No. Oh, life is sad. Wait, can I make it bigger? All right, there we go. All right, so let me just okay. Move the webcam a bit. So sounds good. So first and foremost, you know, this is standard, right? The standard tournament. It had 3 in the top 8. It had 3 Narukami, pretty obvious, you know. 3 Ravon, but then it had 1 Musketeer, and it had 1 Chrono Tiger deck. So let's talk a bit about it. We know we've been in VEB 13 meta for like eons now, but I think June 26 is the release of the trial decks for the next stage, and I believe that'll be that's in 2 months. That'll be fun to see. But let's talk about it. What do you guys think about Neo Nectar and Gear Chronicle in this you don't play Excel, you lose format? Anyone want to talk first?
Well,
I kind of just handed the stage.
Sorry?
Yeah. All right. Whoever wants to start talking, go ahead.
Well, for the new releases, for the matchup against Gears and Neo, I see it as you rush your opponent as much damage as possible before they can kill you.
All right. So like, if you fail to kill them, you just lose, right? Like that's just a loss condition in the deck.
From what I can see why Neos was able to beat Gear Chronicle due to the fact that Neos has so many, with their new support, they have so high attack power that because he's losing a lot of hand using Chrono Tiger, he won't be able, he or she won't be able to guard all these heavy hits, especially if they're playing Force 2 and they're playing Token Rush. But you said they were playing Musketeer, correct?
We're seeing Cecilia as the Vanguard for the standard tournament.
I think so. It was probably Cecilia and Martina.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we've seen many Arboroses lately because it was the only Neo Nectar in the tournament. But there was 17 Narukamis and 18 Aquaforce and 6 Gear Chronicle. The rest we don't care. They didn't top. They suck.
Yes, there's a problem with the Axel meta, but there's so many Axel high in this meta. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we went from a you play Excel or die format to a get out of here Excel ban list. Riviere came in, Shadows came in, and now we're back at a quarter of the pie is Forest, the rest is Excel. So Bushiroad did not change anything with this fucking ban list. We're still in the same cancerous kind of tournament format. Hopefully it'll be different for premium. But I'm liking what I'm seeing with the clan breakdown. But you know, there's really no diversity when it's like 17 and 18 Aqua and Narukamis. Aqua Force taking first and second place. Narukami, obviously, you know, 3 people top 8, then there has to be 1 representative. It's unfortunate that the Neo Nectar player did not make top 8. It would have been amazing for, you know, a deck that hasn't seen standard representation in a while.
I would love to see the deck list of that guy playing Neos. I mean, I'm playing Neos.
I think
Junkie deck,
we might have
Ross and Musketeer, so...
Okay, do we have... Let's see. I think...
I'd like to see more diversity in the clan representation. Because mostly right now, it's mostly like spell deck. other kind of plans.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Okay,
that
so-
Neo Nectar deck list. Unfortunately, I don't think they captured it because it didn't make top 4.
If I can just throw in my 2 cents here real quick.
Yeah.
I don't think we necessarily left an Excel meta. I mean, sure, a lot of the forest decks now that are coming in are basically, kind of anti-Excel. But if Excel goes first, like, now we've really hit an area of the game, an era in the game, rather, where it literally now all depends on high roll because there is no Excel meta, there is no force meta. And now with Angels coming back with all this Protect 2 shenanigans, I mean, for the first time in a while, all 3 types of clans are actually pretty balanced and pretty dangerous.
All right. Speaking of not us not being in an Excel meta, what do you guys think about Excel 2? Because I personally feel like Excel 2 broke this game into the toxic tournaments that it is right now. Because like, if you want to play Excel, you don't neg from writing, you plus. Yeah, like you plus from playing Gold, you plus from playing Narukami, you plus from playing Ravan, and like other like supposedly low hand size decks, and like Vanquisher naturally has like 10 to 20 cards in hand.
Yeah, I agree. That Astral 2 is what gave Astral decks a lot more consistency. The point of these decks were that if you don't have the field, then you're at a disadvantage. So due to the Astral 2, they're able to get the cards that they need for their field easily. So it's eliminating their core weakness.
Yeah, definitely. I see also in the tournament that there was 2 Nova Grapplers. It was probably the recent build that came up, the Tryhard Heroes build. I don't think Beast Deity is any meta reliant anymore. But spinning Valiant Counterblast 4. Do you have 12 cards in hand? No. Okay, I win. I feel.
That was always an interesting move.
Yeah, I feel like that was interesting. All right, so now that we've covered pretty boring dice roll format, let's head into the premium tournament, which I saw the results earlier. Now it looks a lot more diverse, and as you can see, there was only the most there was of clan representation was 10 for Bermuda and 10 for Neos. Fortunately, Neos and Bermuda not even taking the title, which is it's kind of sad. We got the legendary GB8, bum rush the shit out of you format, deck that came out. Once again, we don't see any OTT. OTT is really good against this deck, but I guess if you're allowed to quad Jelly Bean on your opponent's first stride, you just win the game. See, GB8 first stride, they have 6 cards in hand. They have to deal with 30 attacks. All right. Scoop. We've all been there. Is there how many Honolees do you have on the field is the real question. Do you have 3, 4, 5? You kind of need at least 2 or 3 if they're not playing the secret tier tech to just call it out, countercharge everything, and just beat the shit out of you. So it's nice.
Have Metamorphox become Honolulu, and then there you go.
Yeah, because they literally, from what I'm seeing, from what I'm seeing, half these decks are decks that automatically die to Honolulu.exe. Like we got Great Nature, attacks 400,000 times in a turn, doesn't countercharge. Bermuda struggles to countercharge. Neos will get hurt by Honolulu, and Spike Brothers, well, they stride Violence Ace when they see a Honolulu because they'll do 3 swings. Yeah. What's funny though is that considering Nubatama is considered a pretty weak deck in the format right now, we saw Nubatama with, I believe, sorry, I hear it looks like there was what two Nubatamas?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Nubatamas out of 48 players. So that's less than 2% representation, and they managed to make top 8. Unfortunately, I think when push came to shove, it's a deck that auto loses to DI and Neos. I find I find it has a really hard matchup against the third and fourth place decks. Um, it's okay against Bermuda because Bermuda draws a lot, and Spike Brothers it can generally Jamio stall if it wants to by not attacking, because just lowering the hand size is kind of deadly because it reduces the amount of attacks that Hellheart 8 is allowed to do. But I definitely feel that it was one of the Honolulu decks because Nubutama, it ain't multi-attack format. So now let's talk about the most surprising thing is the fact that we saw a top eight DI, but it finished in a tie for third with Neo Nectar. These two decks supposedly the kings of premium, getting like dethroned by tier 1.5, tier 2 decks, the Hellheart 8 and the Riviera. So, PL, you happen to be our resident DI expert. So go ahead and enlighten us on, how you feel about these matchups in particular. Not Neos, because we know you don't like the Neos matchup.
In fact, any deck that can rush you when you play DI is a problem. And I don't know much about GBA deck in Premium.
Right.
Riviera, if it can superior ride, you will start the aggression faster than you can do yours. So if he's got a good start, if the Riviera got a good start, he's almost certainly gonna win. Except if you've got something you can do, like starting immediately on a no life king and do your 3 attacks and la la la. So if you can do that, the moment you arrive on the no life king, you still have ways to win, but otherwise I would say it's fairly hard against a Riviera that opens just. Oh, it's hard because they just do almost the same thing as I was doing to you, but with force marker instead of an Axel. So even if you get a defensive trigger, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
that's the problem.
I have a pretty good Riviera deck list on the channel. Here, I do admit it is fun playing into DI. If they don't see, like, if they're 2 damage, they're going to be like, no guard, and then you don't see a crit, but they don't see a defensive trigger, they're like, fuck me. Because we got to play the are you going to guard minigame all over again. Yeah, definitely. Our Spike Brothers expert, Ricky, unfortunately could not make it for the podcast. I'm sure he'll be here next week to talk about the big spooky ghost ship that just got revealed in Premium Collection. He has quite a bit of an opinion on it. Yes.
He is awesome.
We love big booty, big bounty, big booty, whatever. Whatever the name of that ship is. I think it's the third ship in the archetype entirely. So we have Ghost Ship, we have Galeon, and then we have Big Booty.
Big Booty is awesome.
Yeah, Big Booty is indeed awesome. It's definitely something we're going to be covering next week. I don't want to go too heavy into spoiler content. Definitely. But seeing Gridora. So Gridora won 2017 Worlds in Premium. Ezel finished second. Ezel won Worlds in 2018. And I think Ezel won Worlds in 2019 as well. So, we saw the Wonder Ezel hit, which is why I think we're only seeing, 4 golds in the clan breakdown? I'm sorry, I don't know the gold logo by heart. If anyone can help me out on the screen.
I'm not sure on this one.
Okay, because is it the one with the star in the middle, or like does it look like a shield? Because I know, I think the one with the.
I believe the one with the stars in the middle is Angel Feather.
Okay, because there's like no, but there's one that's 3.
Angel is the second one. Angel is the second one.
There's one Angel Feather player. Oh my God, that was kind of nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see anything impressive out of him. He's probably still waiting for that Premium Collection strat. He's like, oh yeah, one day I'll be good at this game.
But I think the reason why some of these non-meta decks are doing well in these kind of tournaments is because they're not so rarely seen in these kind of formal tournaments that people don't have practice against them. So they're not aware of how they work. They're not aware of how they counter. They mostly think about Neos or Gold or DI, how to counter these 3 decks.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense. And in your guys' opinion, in the current premium format, because we're nearing the end of the video, so let's talk about the current premium metagame. And this gives us, this is our first online tournament. It's from April 5th, so it's 3 weeks ago, right? It's our first look at the premium metagame since the thing we shall not speak about. Because I believe last week was supposed to be Springfest Toronto, but unfortunately, all of Springfest has been cancelled until further notice. Hopefully, when everything is over and we can have fun again, that we'll have some catch-up events to redeem all those markers. Because I know I have two markers because I kind of have two certificates. That we have to go over and check out. But yeah, no, like speaking of Gridora, what's your guys' opinion about Gridora in the format?
I think Ghidorah is very good at taking care of the current meta death. For example, it stops completely gold paladin. It stops Riviere somewhat. And DI as well. It lowers DI.
Yeah, definitely the ability to stop Assassin from coming out of the soul and attacking 100 quadrillion times or boosting 100 quadrillion times is definitely definitely very helpful. I was personally sad when Assassin was not hit on the ban list. I felt like DI's time in the sun had been over, but you know, like NLK before Arata had been popping results harder than Riviere was in standard. It was insane. Like the deck took no brain, and you like Solid Vanguard said, he just randomly built DI and won the tournament. He had his yellow bolts. He was ready. Yeah, I remember quad NLK quad assassin. You know the turn that takes 25 minutes in premium.
Could win against anything, even with just okay hand, because if you have 5 counter blasts, you just won. So yeah.
Yeah. That I'm really glad, addressing tournament states, I'm really glad that they changed the rule of time to a double loss after the 10 minutes. That there's no more first blood. That it's no longer I play a stall deck. I will literally cheat to win the game. Because that's honestly, I think Springfest 2018. That's what it was. It was I cheat, I win. And no offense to all our lovely Asian viewers, but when I went to Springfest Toronto, there's 20 DI players, and they were all Asian. But to add on to the stereotype as well, they always entered time. like literally, if it wasn't, you play DI, you slow play. I don't know what it was. I've never seen a DI player play fast. The turns always take 10 years. And personally, kind of glad Assassin got hit the 1. Because if Assassin was still at 4, I think we'd still have the T0 deck where they just play Bobo. They Bobo themselves to like 4 damage, and they just kill you.
If you want to see a 20-year turn-taking deck, premium Silverthorn, guys.
Well, I definitely will.
Slowest deck in premium by far.
Not exactly. My Silverthorn premium deck works very well.
Oh, we have 2 clashing ideologies here because we have Abdallah, who is post-banless premium Silverthorns, and we have pre-banless Scardize. So let's hear the clash. What do you guys? Okay, speaking of the banless, Dorian and Wonder Ezel are the only hits on the ban list. Go.
I agree with the Wonder Ezel hit. I do agree with the Wonder Ezel hit. The Dorian hit, I understand why they had to do something about it because in premium it was disgusting in certain decks. However, I felt that they could have said in premium better choice restrict rather than a complete ban.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Abdallah, let's hear your opinion on the The Dorian being limited to 1.
All right. First of all, she should have been at least a 2 of. Second of all, right? Her out of 1 of. Okay, even though I mean we can still technically cheat her back out and recycle her a million times, it doesn't matter. Because to keep getting her, we have to spend so much of our time recycling for her. We can't play the game.
So, has your forerunner changed since the ban list? Because I know you guys, I believe used to run the look top 5, put a 0, 1, 2, 3 in this one.
Yeah, you still. Well, what I do anyway, I still run the filter.
Yeah.
So basically, I run the filter as my starter. Then I will mulligan until I get 2 Lillians.
Wow, that's dedication.
Because I always end up taking 2 damage anyway. So then I just fetch for my 1. I just fetch for the other Great Zero and then Dorian, and then I just go from there.
All right.
Well, there is a difference between your build and my build. Your build is a classic Hail Silver Form. Mine is an adaptable Silver Form where I don't use the Lupier Stride. I use the standard deck with some premium modifications and a
So
premium
is mine.
Uno.
Mine sadly is legit practically freaking standard plus.
You changed it.
Standard
I can't even use the freaking Lupier Stride because she's come. You have to freaking do the BS Magia Stride, or else you can't do that.
Yeah. So the stride we're talking about here is, I believe it's a Dark Lord Princess High Circle or whatever. The Ziegenberg of the clan.
The free double stride.
Yeah, the free double stride. So speaking of which, in your guys' G zone, since you guys aren't running a Magia Vanguard, I'm pretty sure, unless Abdali, you're crazy enough to run the fucking Magia Harry.
Honestly, at this point, I'm actually so tempted to, because I mean, there's legit no way Silverthorn's ever going to be viable in premium unless they at least make Dorian a 2 of, or they give us back like a new standard print of like Venus or something and fix your skills. Otherwise, Silverthorn Premium is dead, and I'm just going to be the only guy on Earth playing it because I love them to death.
Fair enough.
Excuse me, I'm still playing it. I have to just pick it up with the new restrictions.
Awesome. All right, so Pierre, you've been silent for a while, my brother. You played. Yeah, we were talking about Pale Moons. Normally, you would stay quiet. I haven't said a word too because no Bermuda, no OTT. But yeah, let's talk about DI. How in the current metagame is DI looking like? So I know you've been playing a lot of DI lately.
I love playing DI. It's one of, I would say, out of my 3 main decks, it is in the top 3. And DI in premium meta right now, I would say it can fare well, but it's a deck that needs the good pieces. So if you don't draw the good pieces, you will lose. That's pretty much what I would say.
All right.
Like, I've got games I play and I've got everything, but I've needed the Bobo. Don't do Bobo, I lose. So it's a thing that happened with DI. If the opponent is rushing too hard, and there are many decks that will be aggressive on grade 2 games, go to grade 3 if you don't have the road yet. So depending on how it's a combo piece deck, so it's pretty hard right now. I would say it's a good deck. If it opens just well, it can do good if you are able to go on NLK and do things, disgusting things on your first grade 3 turn.
We've seen,
I would say.
Pierre, we've seen plenty of funky lists running the Psychic Legion, running the Forerunner strategy, with the Gasti combo allowing you to basically fuse 2 cards together into 1 for your Vanguard turn. What would you say is the best by far from what you've practiced?
Most of the time, I on Brofus Okay. That would usually be most consistent turn as long as the opponent has one rear guard you can retire. Since
Okay.
Prophet has to activate automatically to retire something of you or your opponent. So as long as the opponent has one thing you can retire, I would say Rufus and LK is my go-to options.
Sounds good.
To
Sounds
go
good.
directly on Master of Fifth Element. And I'm thinking about playing the grade 3 that gives the guard restrict of you must place by 20k shield increment.
Yeah, hope on that.
Yeah, I am thinking about trying this out because I don't have the space right now in the deck to play hard lanes, even if I would like. So I'm thinking, what other options do I have to be annoying? I have opened that.
Especially we've seen Ricky and a lot of other DI players start main decking due to the like sort of new decks popping up in the format. Just running, I think it's Number of Terror, Soul Charge 1, draw 2 if you have 10 or more cards in Soul. On Soul.
This option is also good, simply because. But are you talking in premium for?
In premium, yeah. No, I'm not talking about standard. Where I'm still on the Vision Premium Cup qualifier, so.
Because in premium, it's good, but it's like an option that doesn't do anything for Gusty Daemona. So on my grade 3 slot, I don't like to waste space on something that A doesn't soul charge, B is not something I want to use for my Daemona's turn.
All right.
It's something. It's something I see. It helps fuel what you need, but it's something that does it after the moment you would need them, which is in the main phase. So that's what I don't like about this card.
All right. So even if it generates shield for itself, you don't like it, or is it because we're not allowed to run the King of Masks, the Antarian? Well, what's your opinion on that janky card?
Antarian?
Yeah.
Premium, I wouldn't even dare touch it. Maybe a one-up if you really think you absolutely can't kill the opponent and it's your better option to be able to survive. But I don't see the madman would try to put really a one-up of the Antarian in his deck. I mean, what will happen if you really just have to write it?
Yeah, I think if you write it, that's GG. Well played. Alrighty, guys. So we've been live for about 53 minutes now. We covered the Astral Force and the first two cross circuit spring qualifiers for both standard and premium. I'd like to thank my guests for coming on the show tonight. We've got Pierre.
Yes.
We've got Scardize. Any day now. Is he gone?
Sorry?
No, I was thanking my guests for coming on the show, and I said your name, but there was no response.
Sorry, you cut out of it, that's why.
Oh, no, my bad.
problem.
Sounds good. And then finally, we have the king of the premium circus, Abdallah.
Yeah, boy.
Sounds good. So naturally, guys, we'll be recording these probably every Saturday. Every Saturday normally that we're available to record these, because I want to make them the Sunday release. So like where you guys will have like a nice podcast to listen to. As always, my name is the Fallen Sanctum, and my free guests that joined us. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. Have a great evening, guys. Take care.
Danger. Bye. Yeah, bye. Thank you.